Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Neil Howard, here on Health Professional Radio. Thank you so much for joining us again. In this segment, we're going to be talking with Dr. Heather Woolery-Lloyd. She's joining us here as Director of the Skin of Color Division for the University of Miami Department of Dermatology and Cutaneous Surgery. She's going to discuss the expansion of the Incyte Ingenuity Award. Now, the expanded 2022 program will seek to positively impact people living with vitiligo by providing funding for innovative ideas from organizations and medical institutions that address the unmet need in that community. Welcome to Health Professional Radio, Dr. Woolery-Lloyd. Thank you so much for taking the time this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a bit about yourself and your role at the Skin of Color Division at the University of Miami.
Absolutely. So my name is Heather Woolery-Lloyd, and I am the Director of the Skin of Color Division at the University of Miami. And if you're not familiar with that term, because for some people that might be a new term, it's really a specialty that focuses on the dermatology concerns in the skin of color community. So I see all types of skin conditions, but one of the things I do see quite a bit of are pigmentary disorders. And one of the most common pigmentary disorders that I see is vitiligo.
Is there another name for vitiligo, or is that the only term that this condition is known by?
Primarily known by vitiligo. A lot of people sometimes refer it to or describe it as the condition that Michael Jackson had, because that's kind of a universal thing that everybody understands, but it is only known typically as vitiligo.
What exactly is vitiligo, and who is impacted by it? Are there some people that are more susceptible?
So vitiligo is an autoimmune condition, and how I explain it to my patients is that it's a condition where the immune cells that are normally designed to fight things like viruses and bacteria and all the things that we don't want in our body, it's a condition where those immune cells get confused and instead start to attack the melanocytes. And the melanocytes are the cells in our skin that make pigment. So when the melanocytes are being attacked by these immune cells, you stop making pigment in those areas of the skin, and what you see visually are white spots in the skin. Now, it affects all races, all genders, all ages. It's actually relatively common and affects up to 2 to 3 million people in the United States. So it's something that I see really commonly in my practice.
Now, we're familiar with the Incyte Ingenuity Award, but this year it's been expanded specifically to the vitiligo community. Is that correct?
It has. And, I think it's so important because vitiligo is a skin condition, and I really want to emphasize it's a medical skin condition that can have a tremendous impact on quality of life. It affects patient self-esteem. I have teenagers who have vitiligo who, don't go out socially or try to stay covered up. I practice in sunny Miami where people are typically in tank tops and short sleeves, and patients with vitiligo often want to keep covered because they don't want people to see their vitiligo. So I'm really excited about these awards because they are addressing a condition that has a tremendous impact on quality of life and really can make patients feel very isolated. It can negatively impact mental health. So anything that I think drives programs that help to foster and help that community, I think is really impactful. So I'm excited about these awards and talk more about them.
Tell us about the awards, not only the vitiligo aspect, but the awards in general. They've been going on for a while now. Tell us about the award and how you became to be a judge with Incyte Ingenuity.
So the Incyte Ingenuity Awards for vitiligo, which is what I'm a judge for, were designed to help fund and positively impact the vitiligo community. So the goal is really to find really creative, innovative ideas to address unmet needs in the community. And I really love this idea because, first of all, I do think vitiligo is a disease that hasn't gotten a lot of funding before in the past. It's not something that is heavily funded. So I think people out there probably have great ideas that can be innovative and creative and help to support the vitiligo community, but really had no funds to pursue those ideas. So I think the Incyte Ingenuity Awards is a really great opportunity for people who want to start projects to get funding for those projects.
Who can apply for an award? Give us a little bit of insight into the application and judging process, and talk about the types of ideas that are accepted. It's my understanding that no idea is too big or too small.
That's right. So basically, applicants have to either be a nonprofit or a medical organization. And I know that kind of can sound, for someone who's an individual who has a really great idea, that might be intimidating, but anyone can actually apply as long as they partner with a nonprofit or a medical organization. And there are two awards. So one is up to $35,000. The other is up to $100,000. And there's really no difference between these two awards other than the scope. So a lot of people have really innovative ideas, but they're on the smaller scale, and so they can't apply for these really big grants that are out there. So I love that there's two different kind of categories that people can apply for, regardless of how small of a scope it is or if it's a really large scoped idea. And really the goal is just to get innovative and creative projects that address unmet needs in the vitiligo community. That's what the goal is. So no idea, as you said, is off limits.
So, I mean, a person doesn't have to be a medical professional. It doesn't have to be someone who has lots of knowledge in the vitiligo. Maybe just knows someone or comes up with any type of an idea to help that community. And that is as an idea that a person can submit.
Absolutely. As long as an individual partners with a nonprofit or a medical organization, so they have a partner, then absolutely they can apply for this award. And I love the beauty of that, because I do think that sometimes applying for these types of things can be intimidating. And this really allows people with great ideas to apply as long as they partner with a nonprofit or medical organization.
Well, how extensive is the application process? What would you say to potential applicants when it comes to maybe some challenges or maybe some information that is necessary that maybe they don't readily have?
Well, it's very straightforward, actually. Basically, applicants go to IncyteIngenuityAwards.com, and there's a simple form to fill out on the website describing the project. It's very straightforward. And then the judges, and there's a wonderful group of judges that I work with, they're actually independent of Incyte, and it's a panel of dermatologists, healthcare providers, people living with vitiligo, who are experts on vitiligo. And we were basically chosen to find these really beautiful, innovative projects to meet these unmet needs of the vitiligo community. So when people want to apply, they just need to go to IncyteIngenuityAwards.com, fill out that form, and then the judges will review. And if we have questions, we'll have follow-up questions. But the form itself is very straightforward. So I really encourage people with great ideas or something innovative to apply.
Do we have a lot of time before applications are due?
Well, applications are open now. They actually opened on World Vitiligo Day, and they're open through October 31st. So there's lots of time to apply. I really encourage people to apply because I think that vitiligo is a condition that really has so many unmet needs, and I just can't wait to see the projects that we get to review.
Once again, if you would, give us that website where we can learn more and apply.
So you can learn more and apply at www.IncyteIngenuityAwards.com. And there you can read about the awards and also fill out the application. It's just a simple one-page application. And throughout the judging process, if you're selected, you may get more follow-up questions, but the original application is very straightforward.
Now, Incyte has a little nuanced spelling, I do believe.
It does. So I'll spell it out for you. It's INCYTE and then IngenuityAwards.com. So IncyteIngenuityAwards.com to apply.
Doctor, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And I'm hoping that some great ideas come from this year's awards.
Yes, I'm really excited. And anyone out there who has an idea, please apply. We can't wait to take a look.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with Dr. Heather Woolery-Lloyd. Audio copies of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, listen in, download at SoundCloud, and be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com, Health Professional Radio.